right now, you got to be heads up on this thing. National Weather Service saying this is a radar indicated tornado, meaning it hasn't been spotted by a spotter. It's not radar confirmed, it's radar indicated. So we're seeing some pretty strong rotation with this. It's got a very distinct, what's known as a hook echo with it, and it's approaching an area where we could very well, see a tornado coming down off the ground. So right now it is located over Susquehanna Depot, the origination of this thing. So it's going to be southeast of the deposit area by about 13 miles. So again, you kind of get that echo, that hook echo as it's known, that kind of little strong rotational signature. It's up over the Susquehanna Depot area now. This thing is moving east. So if you are in Oakland, if you're up and down Route 92, okay, up and down Route 92, heading towards your tornado shelter now. So that's going to be the Oakland area. This is going to continue to move east. So also included in this warning includes Lanesboro, Brand, Stevens Point, Melrose, and Winterdale not under the warning right now. Strucca, you are under that tornado warning, and we're going to keep an eye on just where this thing is going to go. Is it going to be due east, or is it going to head a little bit more south than east? And of course, that would determine whether you're in the path or not. But again, up and down Route 92 right now is where you're going to need to be heads up on this thing. I want to flip our radar over to what's known as velocity mode. So we're trying to find what's known as a rotational couplet, or those winds moving to and away from the radar. Right now, what we're seeing is some pretty strong winds moving away from the radar. Looks like at about 35 miles per hour or so. And what's kind of unique about this particular warning is how close it is to the radar site located in Binghamton, New York. Usually these things are really far away, and we're talking about seeing rotation, really, high off the ground, which doesn't really give us the best indication of, whether or not that, we're seeing a tornado or not. But, right now what we're seeing is a pretty strong signature for winds moving at least away from the radar. Not seeing a ton towards right now, which is, again, maybe a little interesting here as to, why this particular warning was issued. Not seeing a real strong couplet, but as always, we respect the polygon from the National Weather Service. And you know what? Right now they're saying, hey, we've got a warning on this thing, and we got to be really heads up. So again, I know we're looking here for, Newswatch 16 at 7, but we're kind of preempting our normal news coverage here because we have the potential for a tornado. Tornado warning issued for northern Susquehanna and northwestern portions of Wayne County, and this is going to remain in effect until 7:45 tonight. So it was located over the Susquehanna Depot area. It's heading for Susquehanna, if it's not already there now, and you're going to need to be heads up, basically up and down Route 92. I want to point that out for you if you're just not familiar with the area. So Route 92 is right up and down, right through here. So follow this area. So that junction there between 171 and 92, this is where this tornado-warned storm is currently tracking. And again, when we talk about that hook echo shape, we're talking about this little guy right in here, and I'm going to put this on the last scan so we can click on that for you. So this is what's known as that hook echo, and this is what has National Weather Service meteorologists in Binghamton so concerned, is that this thing is tightened up. It's traveling right along towards the Susquehanna area in northern Susquehanna County, and this thing's moving east. Looks like it's going to be impacting areas again right along that junction between routes 171 and 92. This is the area of concern. So this is going to be the Oakland area in northern Susquehanna County, as well as far western or northwestern Wayne County. Okay, this is the area that we're going to be concerned about. Again, this thing is it's moving along towards the east at about 20 miles per hour. So you know what? We're going to put a track on this thing for you. We'll zoom in a little bit and give a track, give you an estimation on when you can expect this to be in your area. So we'll put a track on it, and again, we're going to have to change the speed to 20 miles per hour to really give you the best information available. So we're going to put this on 20 miles per hour, and we're going to put this on the last scan, and we'll draw this. We'll put it over through the warning, and so unfortunately, a pretty rural area, so we're not getting a lot of a lot of communities populated by our weather graphic system. But here's what I can tell you. All right, so that Susquehanna Consolidated School at about 7:22, right now 7:17. So in about 5 minutes time, this tornado warned storm will be there. So what you got to do, again, head to the lowest level of your home, away from windows. Basement is preferable. And as I always say, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but grab a helmet, okay? Because flying debris, flying around, flying through the windows, the helmet could save your life. All right, so a helmet is good. Sturdy shoes, too. See, those, again, if stuff's kind of collapsing around your house and you come up out of your tornado shelter, you need those sturdy shoes to protect your feet. Very important to do that. Here's a couple of other tornado safety tips. Okay, so again, you're heading for the basement. That's obviously going to be the best place for you to be, or the lowest level of your home if you don't have a basement. And you want as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. Okay, some other ideas for you. You got to cover it up. So getting under a table is great. Protect your head too. Again, a helmet is great. Some people go into a bathroom, an interior bathroom, and throw a mattress up over their bed. That can also be very useful for you. I believe we do have a couple of other tips to share. Yeah, before you get to that tornado-safe shelter, you need to be, crank your television up as loud as you can. You'll be able to hear my voice. You can hear my voice. We're doing okay, right? We're also streaming live. We should be streaming live. At the very least, of course, we're still on our newscast, so that should be right up on our website. And hopefully we'll be up on WNEP.com as well. We got a thumbs up from our web people, and it's a big shout out to them. Big shout out to everyone behind the scenes that make this tornado warning coverage possible. So again, what we got going on here, it's a tornado warning. This is for northeastern Susquehanna County as well as far northwestern Wayne County. This goes until 7:45. Still seeing that strong rotational couplet here on radar, so we still got to be heads up. And again, it's going right for that junction, right? We were just talking about that junction between 171 and 92. So that's going to be the Oakland area of Susquehanna County. So Oakland, I mean, if you're not already there, you got to get to that tornado safe shelter immediately. That's your basement. That's the lowest level of your home. It's going to be away from windows. Also, heads up, Lanesboro, Brand, Stevens Point, and Melrose. So that's a little bit further east. That's going to be a little bit closer to Starrucka Creek. So it would be there a little bit longer from now. But again, if you're in that polygon, that red shaded area, you got to be heads up. I do want to just kind of widen out and just kind of, talk about some of the other stuff that we're seeing here. So we're looking at kind of a wide angle view on satellite and radar. This is the only area of concern right now in terms of tornadic activity. We do have flash flood warnings right now, and that's going to be for Bradford County as well as a small portion of Susquehanna County too. But we've got that tornado warning for Susquehanna County and northwestern Wayne County, but Bradford County also kind of a multitude of flash flood warnings right now. Got a couple of those there. I want to kind of just hone in on that for you here real quick. So flash flood warning, that's going to be for the areas from Towanda and points northwest. That's going to be up and down 220. You can see a lot of lightning with that storm in northwestern Bradford County. That's going to include places like Snedekerville, Springfield, Big Pond, Bentley Creek, Centerville, Gillett, Mosherville, Columbia Crossroads, Troy. You are under that flash flood warning until 9:45. East Smithfield, Ulster, Shashequin, Athens, Sayre, and into South Waverly, all under that flash flood warning. That goes until 7:45. So again, this particular storm, not tornado warned, it is a flash flood warning, although what I will tell you here is in this last scan, a little concerning at the very least, that we're seeing a bit of I'd call it kind of a baby hook. So perhaps this particular cell may be trying to spin up as well. But right now, it is still a flash flood warning. National Weather Service doesn't have any updates on that in terms of whether or not that's going to be tornado warned or not. So that continues to be a flash flood warning. Torrential rains, Bradford County, it's only going to take about 1.5 inches of rain in less than 3 hours' time, and I think this cell might produce that, to lead to some flash flooding. We're already seeing that up in Broome County, the Broome County area, Vestal Center in particular, lots of reports of flash flooding there. So again, why we've kind of broken away from our standard operating procedures here. In fact, on a normal day, our weathercast would probably be just wrapping up and be talking about a taste test here in a couple of minutes, but unfortunately that's just not the case here on your Monday evening, all right, because we've got a tornado warning. It's heading right into the Oakland area right now, and so that's at the junction of 92 and 171. So again, Oakland looks like it's over you right now, which means, okay, because what I like to do in these situations is we've got to give you a heads up on who's severe clear, as I like to call it. What are the communities that, you know what, the tornado has passed to your east, you're now safe to get out of your shelter. So Great Bend, you were never under this warning, but now it looks like that cell is off to your east. Looks like the Hickory Grove area, looks like you're in pretty good shape now. Brushville looks like it's probably still, you know, still a little dicey in your neck of the woods, so you're still covered up in your tornado safe shelter. But again, Hickory Grove and basically right up and down 81, that cell is to your east, no longer a concern for you. You are now severe clear from this tornado warned cell. But again, the Oakland area, we've got to be heads up. That's at the junction of 92, 171. That's where the cell is now. But it's going to continue to move east. So some other communities that need to be heads up now. Lanesboro, Brand, Melrose, and Stevens Point all have to be heads up in your tornado safe shelter. And then again, just some folks maybe just coming in here, that tornado safe shelter is the lowest level of your home, preferably a basement. If you don't have a basement, it's going to be an interior room away from windows. That's where you're going to need to be right now. So we've called out a couple of communities that are you know, now severe clear. Looks like the State Game Lands 35. State Game Lands 35, that cell is to your east. You're in pretty good shape. The Oakland area, it's over your neck of the woods now. Heads up in Lanesboro, Brand, Stevens Point. Looks like Harmony Township is going to encompass that, so you need to be in your tornado safe shelter at this point. It's going to cross over into northwestern Wayne County, so that's going to include Farrell Corners, Maple Grove, Scott Center, Sherman. You need to be in that tornado safe shelter now, because you're in that polygon and we need to be weather aware on this thing. As I always like to do in these kinds of situations, I always like to check out the velocity mode and, you know, just kind of see if we still have that strong rotational couplet. And you know, right now, you know, signs are, at least at this point, that, you know, maybe things aren't you know, is wrapped up. You know, we do have some winds moving pretty strongly away from the radar. It looks like, you know, about 40 miles per hour perhaps, and really not seeing a lot of what I would call return. So we're not seeing a lot of winds perhaps moving back in towards the radar. In fact, you know, as I'm kind of clicking around on this map, everyone's seeing you know, no negative signs in front of it. A negative sign in front of these numbers would mean that, hey, we've got some stuff moving towards the radar. But you can see as I'm clicking around, what we're finding is that winds are all moving kind of towards or away from the radar. Check that. A negative side would mean that it's towards. All these mean that it's moving away at this time. So again, that would be a good thing. Perhaps not that strong rotational couplet, meaning that, hey, you know, maybe at this point we're not finding that tornadic activity. Although here we go, as we maybe zoom in just a little bit further north, we are finding, you know, perhaps that that rotation may be a little bit stronger. So this particular area right in here is maybe the area that we need to be most concerned with. So it's just north of 171 right now, just north of 171. So probably just outside of the Oakland area is the area of concern right now. So Lanesboro and Brand, I would be definitely tornado shelter time. Get to the basement now. This pretty strong couplet could be a tornado in your neck of the woods shortly. So again, you need to be heads up on that. Again, that's Lanesboro, Brand, Stevens Point, Melrose. Head up this rotation moving into your neck of the woods. But again, this is not exactly TV friendly to leave up for too long. So let's give you back to the regular radar here if we can. And again, we're actually seeing that polygon flashing now, which means that we have an update here from the National Weather Service. So they're saying exactly what I was just telling you, is that it's located over the Lanesboro area now. Still radar indicated, so no confirmation from a trained storm spotter. nor is it what we call radar confirmed. Radar confirmed would mean that, thanks to the evolution of radar technology, National Weather Service meteorologists and meteorologists like myself can look at a variety of products, and some of those products can show you where maybe debris is getting lofted up into the air. We're not seeing that right now. So what that means is that, okay, if without that, it's still what's known as radar indicated. Okay, radar indicated means that we're just seeing that strong rotation. Not seeing anything from the National Weather Service, again, about any kind of confirmation, whether it's a trained spotter on the ground or an emergency manager or even a public report. But again, just because we're not seeing that yet, just because we don't have that trained spotter report on the ground doesn't mean that this isn't happening. So we got to be heads up. Again, it's located over the Lanesboro area now. The storm continues to move east at about 20 miles per hour. So what I'll do here is I'll pop it on the last particular scan. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit further, just so folks can kind of get an idea of what's going on, and we'll give you that that track on it again. Moving east at 20 miles per hour. Some of these communities that pop up may be officially outside the warning, and in fact, we can't get any of the communities to pop up. So that's going to be a Lanesboro issue right now. Lanesboro is probably where the storm is at this point. And again, moving east at 20 miles per hour and still trucking along here with this particular warning. Not seeing it getting pushed outside of its current bounds, at least at this point. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if this tornado-warned storm sees any additional warnings issued further east. But again, right now, National Weather Service holding this one. This red polygon on your screen, this is a tornado warning, and it goes until 7:45. Okay, 7:45. So we get a little ways to go before this particular warning is over. Right now it is 7:28, so we've got about an additional 17 more minutes to go before this particular warning would be dropped. Again, it may get dropped a little early if in the opinion of National Weather Service meteorologists that it's not producing a tornado on the ground, but at least at this point, we still have that tornado warning, goes until 7:45, continues to move east. I want to give you a couple of more communities that are probably, again, severe clear in terms of the tornado, the potential tornado to your east. So Susquehanna Depot, Hickory Grove, you're now in the clear. This potential tornado has shifted to your east, so it looks like we're, again, in a little bit better shape. I do want to maybe just turn off the lightning here for just a second and put it on the last scan, because what I am starting to notice is this. I'm going to point it out with an arrow. This may be some hail right in here, so that's going to be, again, probably just a little bit north of the Lanesboro area. So that's going to be Lanesboro, Stevens Point area could be looking at some hail. Okay, we have some video from the Great Bend area, I'm being told by the control room, if we have that. Okay, so this is going to be the traffic cam in that neck of the woods. So up and down 81, this is going to be exit 230 off Interstate 81. Looks like, again, traffic moving along just fine. This is an area that is west of the tornado warning right now. So not surprising that we were just looking at some wet roads, and that's really all I would expect at this point, as that tornado warned storm is to your east. But thank you very much to our control room. Fantastic as always, bringing this to my attention. So again, we're breaking into kind of your regularly scheduled programming. Coming up in a minute, actually right now, it is 7:30 on the nose here, bottom of the hour. I would be talking about, as one Scott Schaefer likes to say, inside edition, but no inside edition, at least for another 15 minutes, as this potential tornadic storm is moving on to the east. Again, over the Lanesboro area, or at least nearby. It is going to be continuing to head east at 20 miles per hour towards Brand and Stevens Point. Melrose, I would also be weather aware on this thing, and the State Game Land 70 also included in this particular warning. Storruca, you're under this warning, but at least right now, it looks like it's going to be passing a little bit to your north. Again, you've got to respect the polygon. You're under a tornado warning. Be in that tornado shelter. Respect the polygon. If you're under it, got to be weather aware, right? You got to be taking all your precautions for a tornado warning. That said, looking at how this thing has been going, how it presents itself on radar, and when we put it back into motion for you, looks like it'll stay just to the north of the Storruca area. So perhaps some good news there. Again, you're not out of the woods. We're still watching this thing, but continues to be a little bit more east than north. What I'm also starting to notice here, and at least on this last scan, kind of want to point this out. See how there's like this radar kind of devoid area where we're really not seeing a lot of a lot of precipitation, that's a pretty good indication that there's some really strong winds moving in towards the direction of the radar, okay? So probably some really strong winds this way. So what that's telling me is that there is some pretty good rotation within this particular storm right now towards the radar and away. And if this thing's spinning like that and it's pretty, close to the radar site, means this is close to the ground. What that means for you, this tornado warning is pretty legit. So we're going to continue to be weather aware on this thing. I want to go back to that velocity mode. And again, this thing is starting to show maybe a little bit better signs of tightening up a little bit. Some very strong winds at the very least moving away from this radar site. We're going to bump it over. So again, for those kind of unfamiliar with what we're talking about here, so this kind of cell right here. So winds not very high off the ground, probably about 1,000 feet or so, 59 miles per hour, moving away from the radar. Not seeing too much maybe towards the radar at this particular time, but again, the other tool that we have at our disposal is, just looking at, the static radar image, and we're not seeing a lot of precipitation. Again, right in this particular area here, that means the wind's moving very quickly towards the radar, and obviously some winds moving pretty fast away from the radar too, as you saw. So good sign of rotation, good sign that there's a potential tornado on the ground, and that's why this tornado warning was issued by the National Weather Service not all that long ago, and it remains in effect until 7:45 tonight. We're not seeing any additional information, at least at this particular juncture, from our National Weather Service chat line. Every once in a while you may hear a cow moo. That is the alert tone that I've chosen because it's very distinct. It's not like anyone else here in the newsroom. Of course, today, July 12th, big day for us here at WNAP. A lot of people coming back into the building, and our reporters very busy, phones going off, as they start to hear from their sources and whatnot. So, between all those tones that I can hear in the newsroom, needed something a little distinct. So again, a cow moo is an alert from the National Weather Service chat line that another message is coming across. Do want to widen things out for us again because we are under this tornado warning for northeastern Susquehanna County, northwestern Wayne counties. That goes till 7:45. But not to be outdone, I mean, we've also got some flash flooding concerns that we're also keeping our eyes on. Flash flood warnings in effect for much of Bradford County now, as well as officially northern Susquehanna County too. But of course, kind of taking precedence, at least at this point, would be the tornado warning. But here's the flash flood warnings that we're talking about. This is in Bradford County. This goes until 9:45 tonight, and we'll pop this in motion, and you can see all sorts of lightning associated with this cell. It's being designated a strong thunderstorm from the National Weather Service, so not a warning, but strong, packing a bit of a punch, likely some strong winds with this, and that's probably something else I should note too. Even if this storm or the tornado warned storm that we have out in Susquehanna County is not producing a tornado, or these two storms aren't producing a tornado. Again, the one in Bradford County, no warning on that in terms of being tornadic, but just popping our attention back to the Susquehanna County storm into northwestern Wayne County. Even if it's not producing a tornado, it's still producing some very strong winds. And and I know a lot of times, tornadoes kind of take the headlines. You see a lot of trees down in your neighborhood or wires down, and it's, oh, this has to be a tornado, it has to be a tornado. Around here, the vast majority of damage that we have isn't from a tornado, it's from what's known as straight line winds. And on top of that, in our neck of the woods, our tornadoes tend to be on the weaker side. They tend to not contain, the winds at the same levels as we see out in, the Midwestern states and out in Tornado Alley in Oklahoma and Texas, where they get those giants, the EF4s, the EF5s, winds over 200 miles an hour. Our tornadoes, winds generally speaking between about 75 and 110 miles per hour. Don't get me wrong, that'll do significant damage, but in a more widespread fashion, our straight line winds can do some of those same speeds. In the past couple of nights, especially last night, we did find some trees down. We had tornado warnings, but at least at this point, a lot of that may be from straight line winds. So again, the thing that we have to concern ourselves with here with the cell moving through northeastern Susquehanna County isn't so much the tornado as it is, hey, there could be some wider spread damage from straight line winds. So some communities that are likely kind of severe clear at this point as the rotation continues to track to the east. We'll pop it on that last scan. Again, in the line of fire right now, I would still be in our tornado shelter. Melrose, Storruca, again, looks like it's going perhaps just a bit north. If you're on the north side of town, though, I'd be in your tornado shelter. Everyone should be, but especially there. It's in the ballpark, but Melrose, heads up, moving in your direction. Oakland right now, Oakland, it is to your east. So Oakland, it looks like you're in good shape now. Still under the tornado warning, but looks like the storm itself is pushing east, so perhaps some good news there. Hey, Hickory Grove, also good. Susquehanna Depot, Brushville, again, you're good. North Jackson right now, you're probably, you're still a little too close to comfort, so I would still be in the tornado shelter there. But stay with us here. We're going to continue this coverage and try to give you some ideas of some folks that might be in the clear. But this is one of the newest scans that we've got coming in on radar, and boy, that I really don't like the looks of seeing this large area that's just kind of devoid of precipitation. So some strong winds kind of rotating in like this, strong winds moving away, and that's kind of what creates this feature. And that tornado, if it is producing one, it's going to be in this neck of the woods, right where I'm circling in northeastern Bradford County. So again, that is going to be in the vicinity of the Melrose area, crossing over Storruca. So looks like up and down 171. 92, the worst of it certainly to your east, but even right now 171, it's going to be moving east from there. Okay, so looks like line of fire right now would be the Melrose area. I think that would be the one to be most heads up on. Looks like Thompson going to pass to your north. Storruca still, again, you're on the north side of town. I'd be heads up. I'd be in the tornado shelter. Close call there. But getting down towards Thompson, it looks like you're okay. Orson, you're okay. Again, I'm just trying to call out some communities that I think are in the clear, in addition to calling out the ones that are, potentially in the line of a tornado. And that's going to be the Melrose area. Up and down, again, that would be the Storruca Creek, and then into the Melrose area is kind of where this storm is heading. Moving east at 20 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. We popped the radar back in motion just to give you an idea of how this thing is kind of clipping along. Again, the presentation on radar hasn't been super strong. Okay, we've got a new tornado warning. Remember that cell I was talking about over Bradford County? Well, that one's got a tornado warning on it too. Okay, and that tornado warning goes until 8 o'clock tonight. It's near Troy, and it's moving east at 25 miles per hour. So bear with me, okay? We've got multiple tornado warnings right now. The one that we're showing you goes until 7:45. We've got an additional tornado warning in Bradford County. Just want to give our folks in the control room too. I don't know how those lower thirds work and what you're doing behind the scenes, but just a heads up, an additional tornado warning right now. That's going to be in Bradford County, and that's going to be until 8. So we're going to pop this off the screen and focus our attention on that particular storm. I want to take you over into Bradford County. Again, not discounting our folks living in the Melrose area of Susquehanna County, but I just want to bring to attention everyone here that we've got a new tornado warning, and this tornado warning goes until 8 o'clock tonight. Okay, so 8 o'clock. Right now it is 7:39. In this particular cell, I believe being indicated from the National Weather Service, moving east at about 25 miles per hour. This one too, notated as radar indicated. So no train spotter has seen a funnel. We don't have emergency management reporting in. We're also not seeing the indications on radar, what would we call a radar confirmed tornado, that this is producing damage. But again, this is radar indicated from the National Weather Service, strong rotation with this storm. The cell continues to move east at 25 miles per hour. So let's pop this one on the last scan. And I want to give you an idea of some of the communities that may be in line of seeing a potential tornado from this one. So it's moving east at 25 miles per hour. We'll pop that over and we'll pop you out right through the warning. So here's a couple of spots that are potentially in line to see a tornado. So in the Mount Pisgah State Park, very popular, especially now. It's summertime, a lot of folks are out trying to, school's out. Very popular place to be. Pine Grove School, again, will be in that neck of the woods. 807, so some of these communities and some of these things, okay, they're actually after the tornado warning is set to expire, but it gives you an idea that this potentially strong, if not severe storm, potentially producing a tornado, is going to be in that vicinity at those particular times. So maybe just a little bit of a heads up there for some of you folks. It's 7:41 right now, and again, we are breaking away from Inside Edition. We're breaking away. Of course, we're outside of our regularly scheduled news at this point. But again, we started with this around what, 7:10, 7:15, with that first warning that was in the Susquehanna Depot area. This is that new tornado warning at and this one goes until 8 o'clock tonight. So again, it looks like this potential tornado, and this is a brand new scan coming in on a radar. And boy, I would bet that there's some very strong rotation with this one. It's going to be just north of Route 6 in Bradford County. All right, so that is going to be probably just north of Troy. This is going to be probably in the neighborhood of Leona in Springfield. Again, Mount Pisgah, the state park, under the warning. And again, it's moving in that general direction. So it's just to the east of 14 right now. So see Leona, East Troy, Burlington, the Mount Pisgah State Park, East Smithfield, Ulster, and this takes you right out to 220 too. So Sheshequin, Ghent, this may extend all the way out to Rome too. Towanda looks like right now you are not in the warning. Boy, is it close though. And it looks like it'll end up passing just to your north. But again, this is a pretty rural area of Bradford County. Of course, the northern tier counties tend to be really rural, but here's the deal, you know, whether you're in a rural area or you're living in downtown Scranton, we care about all of our viewers. You know, we really stand by that proud to serve mantra here. And that's why we break into your regularly scheduled programming and give you these updates, because, again, we don't care if you're on a mountain in Bradford County or in downtown Scranton or Williamsport. Again, we care about all of our viewers equally, and that's why we provide you with this level of service. Okay, so this is an update on this particular cell. This is now an observed tornado. Okay, this one in Bradford County, this is observed. Someone has spotted this thing. They have a debris signature southwest of East Smithfield in Bradford County. So National Weather Service meteorologists are saying we've got an observed tornado in the vicinity of East Smithfield. Debris signature means that, you know, they're looking at the radar and they can see, you know, the different, unfortunately, debris, grass, chunks of wood, branches, whatever. It's all kind of whizzing around right now in this neck of the woods. And this is an observed tornado. They're confirming it with radar technology that there's a tornado on the ground right now. It is on the ground. So in the East Smithfield area, you got to be in that tornado shelter. Boy, that is, you really just don't want to hear that. Okay, so the Leona area, East Smithfield, Ulster, Sheshequin, Gent, tornado shelter. Now, you got to get down there. We've got an observed tornado. We got to be taking this warning now extra seriously because we have confirmation. I want to bump back over to that product on called velocity mode that we have with our weather graphic system, and we're probably going to see some pretty strong rotation with this particular cell. We'll bump you over to Bradford County. Yeah, we've got some strong rotation here. The winds of these colors mean we've got motion towards the radar. This means we have pretty strong motion away from the radar. Again, it was confirmed, observed, so that means we've got a tornado. So this thing pretty serious. And you know, this warning goes until 8 o'clock, so it's 7:44 now. I want to bump back over, though. I want to go back over to that first warning that we had, and that would be this cell here. This is the one in northeastern Susquehanna County, western Wayne County. That has been allowed to expire. It is 7:45. There hasn't been a continuation from the National Weather Service on this, so, you know, still maybe a little suspicious on radar, but there is a new warning on that. Okay, so they have continued it. This one continues to be radar indicated, and this new warning that you see flashing now, this one goes until 8:15. So we have dual tornado warnings still. We have the one now in northern Wayne County. Again, it looks like it's probably just over Storuca. So this potential tornado over Storuca right now continues to move east. This one moving east at 20 miles per hour. So being heads up on this one too. Again, it's radar indicated, don't have any kind of confirmation. However, potential tornado, we're taking it serious, and this new warning will take us until 8:15. Once this particular cell crosses outside of our WNEP viewing area and crosses over into New York State, we no longer have to continue that coverage with this. However, up until that point, we will. Again, every viewer matters, whether you're watching in Storuca, downtown Scranton, and I know if you're watching from Scranton right now, you're watching from Williamsport, I know you're tearing your hair out because these things are so far away from you and they have no impact on you, but we care about all our viewers, so that's why we're doing this coverage. So this is that new warning, far northern Wayne County right now, up through the Storuca area. So here are some new communities that are going to be included in this. Okay, so this is going to include Preston Center, Lakewood, Preston Park, Lake Como, Equinunk. You are under that tornado warning now. Rock Lake, you're going to be in that tornado warning, so you got to be heads up on this thing. Starlight, you are under the tornado warning, so you too need to be heading into that tornado shelter. Lookout, Damascus, you're under the tornado warning, so you need to be in that tornado safe shelter. Rileyville, tornado safe shelter. Stalker, tornado safe shelter, so this is a pretty broad area. Again, it's located over the Storuca area now, continues to move east. It's moving east at 20 miles per hour, so if you're in that particular red polygon, you need to be heading towards your tornado safe shelter now. I'm going to pop the lightning back on too. Usually when you see like a lot of lightning starting to pop back up again, it can be a sign of a strengthening storm. And what we're looking at here is, we're at least finding a few flashes. These flashes are all representative of lightning that has occurred within the last 3 minutes. You start lengthening it out into 10, 15, 20 minutes, you're going to see a lot of lightning flashes, but might not necessarily be very representative of what the storm looks like now. However, seeing a fair number of lightning flashes, so still pretty healthy, moves east. This particular tornado warning, we'll pop it up there on the screen. That one goes until 8:15. All right, we've got that other tornado warning though, and this is the one that has, probably drawing a little bit more attention. The reason being, again, it's being observed. So this is confirmed tornado. National Weather Service no doubt will be out tomorrow doing a storm survey in this area because on radar they're seeing debris wafted into the air. So this is a significant storm producing a tornado. Tornado observed. And in fact, if I was to hazard, where this particular cell might be, right in this particular area. Okay, there is very strong rotation in here, and this is about the area that we would expect to find this particular tornado. Getting some word in here from the National Weather Service, a flash flood. Okay, flash flood in the Ridgebury area of Bradford County. There are several roads and a couple of houses flooded. This is also true in Columbia Crossroads because let's not forget, the entire region is also under that flash flood watch. Okay, that flash flood watch continues until 2 o'clock in the morning. So not only are we talking about the potential for severe weather, and severe weather meaning like what we're seeing here, tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, we're also talking about that potential for flash flooding here tonight. Flash flooding not officially in severe criteria, but of course produces its own hazards, and we're seeing that play out here. The Ridgebury area of Bradford County, several roads are flooded. Couple of houses are flooded. This is also true in Columbia Crossroads. I want to just kind of, give folks an idea of what's happening here. So again, you're watching from Bloomsburg, you're watching from Sunbury, Shamokin, Lewisburg. There's nothing happening, okay? It's cloudy, it's hot, it's humid, you're sweating it out in your house, wondering why the weather guy is here on television interrupting Inside Edition. Well, the reason being, we've got 2 tornado warnings. One is being observed on radar as we speak. That's the one in western portions of Bradford County. That one continues to move east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So that's why we continue with that. We've also got that second tornado warning, and that's the one up in portions of Wayne County, far northern Wayne County. So keeping our eyes on that one true as well. And that one goes until 8:15. We've got folks calling into the weather office right now. We're very sorry. I'm the only one sitting here, so we're not going to be able to take phone calls. Very sorry about that, but can't be answering the phone live on TV. Very sorry about that. My apologies to Megan Smaltz. I'm not going to be able to take your phone call. But this particular cell here, Bradford County, this warning is going to take us out for a bit of time. This warning goes out until at least 8, if not 8:15. So we're going to have to be heads up on that. We'll bring you right back to it. This is that tornado warned cell, okay, tornado warned cell. And this warning takes us up until 8 o'clock, all right? And this is the one that was, observed. And it's churning probably just north of the Route 6 area, okay, just north of Route 6. So this is going to include communities of East Smithfield. I would also be tornado shelter immediately from Ulster up to Milan, Ghent and Shashequin, also in your tornado shelter now, staying just north of Route 6. So it's northwest of Troy now. Okay, Troy located in that junction, or near the junction, I should say, between routes 14 and 6, so it's northeast of you. Looks like it's tracking in the vicinity of, wow, Mount Pisgah State Park right now. It's going to be in that ballpark. I'd be looking out for damage there. Also, the Burlington area of Bradford County heads up there. But also, as mentioned, we're also talking about flash flooding in the Ridgebury area of Bradford County, as well as Columbia Crossroads. The debris signature has disappeared, is what we're hearing from National Weather Service meteorologists, but cyclical nature of this supercell, they're going to hold on to the tornado radar observed tag. So what National Weather Service meteorologists are seeing at this point, relaying to us, is that, okay, well, we're not seeing debris still lofted up into the air, but this particular supercell has had a history of kind of cycling down, cycling back up, so they're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with this warning until 8 o'clock. So again, dueling tornado warnings right now, one in far northern Wayne County, one in this section of western Bradford County. It is approaching Route 220. Okay, approaching Route 220. So I would still be in that tornado shelter. It's probably going to get real rocking and rolling here between, let's say, Luther's Mills, Ulster, Shashequin, up to Milan. Those are the areas that are going to probably see some very strong winds. And again, this potential tornado. Not that long ago, we were seeing signs that this thing was lofting debris up into the air, so you got to be in that tornado-safe shelter. What's a tornado-safe shelter for those maybe the uninitiated here with tornado warnings? Well, we got a map for that for you. So here's the deal. You got to get low. You got to be heading to your basement. Going to your basement is the absolute safest place that you can be. You want to have your helmet on. Okay, a helmet. This is, a great area, Bradford County. Beautiful rural lands, lots of hiking to be done. I know there's a lot of ATV riders as well as dirt bike riders, and so you all have those kinds of helmets. Those are great, very sturdy. Also snowmobilers, plop one of those things on, head to the basement. You want as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. Cover up. Getting under a table can certainly help. As I mentioned, a helmet's good. Also sturdy shoes. You don't necessarily have to put them on immediately, but take them with you as you're heading to your tornado-safe shelter, because if there's debris, if this potential tornado is near your house, hits your home, hits your land, you want the sturdy shoes to get around, because tornadoes loft all sorts of stuff, sometimes for miles, depending on how strong they are. You also want to turn your television up. If you can hear my voice, you're going to be fine. We're going to take you right through this thing. We're also streaming live. We are on Facebook Live right now. We're also live on our website, WNEP.com. So crank that television up, and you'll be able to hear us, or take your phone with you to your tornado-safe shelter. We're going to continue to track this thing for you. So we've got a couple of hazards going on right now. We've got that tornado warning in western Bradford County. This one goes until 8 o'clock. That's the red polygon. The polygon, the coloring that's around that, that's a flash flood warning, and we already have confirmation of flash flooding. Ridgebury and Columbia Crossroads, several roads and a couple of houses are flooded. That's in the Ridgebury area, but this is also true for Columbia Crossroads. So that's why that flash flood warning, yeah, that's going to continue too. Let's pop you a little bit further east, because we don't want to discount what's happening here over in far northern Wayne County. This particular tornado warning goes a little bit longer. This one goes until 8:15. And it is continuing east. Looks like it's moving east of Strucka now. So Strucka, you're good. You're fine at this point. That tornado-warned storm is officially to your east. However, Starlight, Winterdale, this is where it's heading now. It's heading towards Route 370. Okay, it's approaching that, so you need to be in that tornado-safe shelter still. Okay, this particular tornado warning goes until 8:15, so we've got a little ways to go with this. Currently 7:55, so you've got another 20 minutes on that. I want to bop you back to the Bradford County one. That one is set to expire in 5 minutes' time. However, at least for a short period of time, not that long ago, we had what's called a debris signature on it, meaning that the National Weather Service meteorologists were seeing debris getting lofted up into the air, and so that thing was a confirmed tornado. Looks like that is still traveling just north of Route 6. It is now far east from Route 14. So if you're in the Troy area right now, you're fine. You can officially you know, you're okay in terms of severe weather. Again, Columbia Crossroads, not that far from you, dealing with significant flash flooding issues right now. So you may be dealing with that. But in terms of this tornado, it's to your east. Also the Springfield area, this particular tornado warned storm to your east. So you're also okay at this point. Big Pond, you're good. Mount Pisgah State Park, again, still nearby. Hopefully you've sought appropriate shelter, as well as East Smithfield, Ulster, Sheshequin, Ghent. Straight on down, if you head down 220 to the junction there of Route 6, the junction between 220 and Route 6, okay, that's probably the southern extent of where this potential tornado is heading. Head northward from there up to Milan, and that's probably the northward extent. So that's kind of the stretch here that we're talking about that has the potential to see a tornado. And again, in these last couple of scans, still seeing some stuff here as a meteorologist that has me concerned that, you know, this cell is still pretty well wrapped up, potentially still producing a tornado. Again, National Weather Service meteorologists maybe not seeing that debris being lofted, but we got to be heads up. We're hearing from our control room. We have some video from Susquehanna. Let's roll that. And this is a viewer from Susquehanna. You can see it looks like from their farm field here. We're looking out. You can see, at the very least, some very heavy rain, but also that could be the cloud base lowering down in there. Okay, when the cloud base lowers, that's a time that you could potentially see a tornado. Again, the Susquehanna Depot area is where we were seeing the tornado warning originate, so wouldn't be surprising if this is what's called the mesocyclone. Again, I know we're getting in the weeds here, but inside of a mesocyclone is where we'd find the tornado. So that's the rotation we see on radar, and then inside of that is the tornado. So this may be very well that mesocyclone producing that tornado. Again, this is in the Susquehanna area. All right, let's bop back over to radar just to give folks a heads up on this. The National Weather Service continuing the tornado warning. This is going to be for the Wayne County storm, dealing with 2 tornado warnings at once. We're trying to keep it all straight here for you. Okay, this is going to be for the Wayne County storm. They're continuing that one until 8:15. Currently over Hiawatha, 10 miles south of Deposit, and that would be New York State. And that one continues to truck along east at 20 miles per hour. So again, you're looking at the one, Bradford County, still going to be in that tornado shelter from the junction of 220 and Route 6 all the way north up to Milan. In that stretch, that's where this potential tornado is heading. So we got to be heads up there. However, also want to note that we've got that other tornado warning that was just updated now from the National Weather Service. That's going to be this guy right in here, far northern Wayne County. There you see it flashing. What the flashing means is that it's been updated, so every time we get those updates, it flashes, kind of very attention-getting, right? And that's why. It gets our attention, lets us know that there's some new information on that. So that's the tornado warning. That one continues until 8:15. Still in far northern Wayne County, still within the WNEP viewing area. We care about all our viewers. We continue with the coverage. So heads up, it's in Hiawatha now. It's heading between Winterdale and Starlight, it would appear. Between Winterdale and Starlight. Those would be the communities probably potentially most impacted by this. So from there, you should be in your tornado shelter. Also, Hancock, that's over in New York State, other side of the river. You should be in your tornado shelter too if you so happen to be watching our particular coverage. That particular area, though, run by the Binghamton television market, so hopefully those meteorologists there, they've got you covered too. Again, that would be for the Hancock area. However, you can see that stretch of 370 officially under that tornado warning. Got to be in your tornado shelter. Again, no confirmation on this. However, I would say basically from Preston Park all the way up to Hancock back to Winterdale. That would be the spot of most concern. Okay, this particular tornado warning, again, this one goes till 8:15. So we're going to be live with you for at least the next 16 minutes because of this. However, also, again, we've got that other tornado warned storm. This is the one in Bradford County. This one is, okay, we've got a new warning for Bradford County now. This one now goes until 8:30. So again, 2 tornado warnings. We've got this one in northern Wayne County. We've also got this one out in Bradford County now. I'm also looking at this one in the middle of Susquehanna County too, near Montrose. Heads up Mike Aratt. Mike Aratt's one of our photographers. He lives in this particular area, general vicinity. he may be sending some video to us out of this cell because this is starting to tighten up too. We're going to have to watch that. Okay, here's the new warning. This is the one that now goes until 8:30. Towanda, you are now under this warning. You need to be in your tornado shelter. What was it, 10, 15 minutes ago I was saying, hey, you know what, Towanda, you're not under the warning yet. Guess what? Things have changed. This storm continues to look pretty healthy, continues moving east. Towanda now under that warning. So from that junction of Route 6 and 220, north to Milan, down to that junction, down to Towanda, everyone needs to be in their tornado shelter. This storm continues to be capable of producing a tornado, so it has lost that signature of producing lofting debris, at least on radar. However, still a strong couplet from the National Weather Service. Again, rotational couplet, winds moving towards and away from the radar, so we continue to watch this thing. Also an update on the flash flooding situation, because remember, all of us, except Clinton County officially, under that flash flood watch that goes until 2 o'clock in the morning. So in addition to seeing the tornadic threat that we're seeing now, which is why we're now breaking in, and gosh, I hate this. I know I'm breaking into The Bachelor right now. I know it. I know there's a lot of viewers. You know what? My wife and I are a couple of them. We particularly enjoy that program. I'm really sorry that we're breaking into that right now. I know tonight, big episode. However, we've got a potential tornado. We continue with live coverage here on television. So really sorry about that. Hopefully this will be the last warning. Hopefully we'll be able to, I'll be able to enjoy the last hour and a half of it. But, tornado warning takes precedence over television shows. I'm really sorry. You can always go back and rewatch those later in some form, some way. But, you can't take back a life if you get hit by a tornado. So we continue with that coverage. And that's why we continue with this until 8:30. Let's pop that up on the screen. Let's make that abundantly clear. This new warning goes until 8:30. So originally it was supposed to drop at 8, continues to 8:30. So here we go. As mentioned, though, some exceptionally heavy rain also being observed within this storm. We're under that flash flood warning, so that the shading outside of the red, which is the tornado warning, that's a flash flood warning. That goes until 9:45, and now we're starting to get these reports of observed flash flooding. In fact, I know we've got a very reliable weather watcher up there in Brackney. She's very good during the winter months, so we're going to continue to track this for that flash flooding. Sorry, I'm also reading back through our National Weather Service chat line, and the warning coordination meteorologist, David Nicosia, you probably see him in some of our reports, during tornado time. After a tornado, him and his team will be out surveying damage. Exceptional meteorologist, and really exceptional at describing what's taking place. He's calling what's known as a classic broken S signature south of East Smithfield. All right, and what that means is that that's the potential for a tornado there. So this line continues to move east. It's approaching 220 now. Again, from Milan down to that the junction of Route 6 and 220, this is the area of concern. If we start getting power outage numbers, we'll have to be aware of that too, because that's likely from, if not a tornado, okay, some very strong and damaging wind gusts. I'm going to bop you back to the velocity signature, which is called that velocity mode, trying to pick out the potential tornadoes. So we'll do it in two spots. So again, you've also got this area up in far northern Wayne County where you are under that tornado warning until 8:15. So we've got another 11 minutes to go with that. And we've got, again, some signs of rotation within this. Okay, these winds moving away from the radar, these winds moving towards. So there's some spin there. So that is going to be far northern Wayne County, up near the Winterdale, Starlight areas, that junction of 191 and 370. So at that junction, this is approaching that area. So if you live in that area, if this sounds familiar to you, heads up, get to that tornado shelter immediately. That's the lowest level of your home and away from windows. That's the safest place to be during a potential tornado. However, we've also got this tornado warning that's also in effect. This is going to be for Bradford County, and that one continues until 8:30. Okay, sorry, I was just logging back into the computer. Our computers, after like 5 minutes of inactivity, they log off on us. Lost some vital information from our chat line, but we're back in. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to bop you back over to that tornado warning that's in effect until 8:30. 8:30 now is where we're going to have to be heads up now, up and down 220. So Mike Arad has actually just written into me, and he sent some video. Mike, if you can send that to someone in the control room, or maybe Cody, we'll be able to get this news tip News tip is the best way to go. I'm sure he's one of our long-standing photographers. He's been here a long time. Great guy. He's probably doing just that. He says, thanks for the shout-out. He says, it went north of my house. My cousin Patty was in Great Bend for the warning. Says, no damage. 2 3/4 inches of rain in her game age for about 20 minutes. Okay, so that's why we have that flash flood warning also in this area too, up in the Great Bend area, because we're talking about nearly 3 inches of rain falling in 20 minutes. All we needed today was about 1.5 inches in 3 hours, and that was going to lead to flash flooding. You start getting nearly 3 inches in 20 minutes, flash flooding a near certainty. So I would be heads up there. Also want to point out too, as we look in some of these last scans on radar, starting to find some of those kind of like magenta-ish colors. And let's zoom in right on that. So what I'm talking about, again, as you found out in that Doesn't Really Work segment, colorblind, but this right here, this is likely some heavy rain, and sometimes stuff getting lofted up too. Could be something like that. In fact, I was mentioning that National Weather Service meteorologists use a variety of tools at their disposal, and one of them is what's known as a correlation coefficient. And what that is it kind of gives meteorologists a heads up as to where that potential flying debris is. Not really seeing it particularly well in this particular shot here. Again, this is kind of some insider baseball meteorology, but a very useful tool for us to describe exactly where the tornado might be. However, not seeing what I should be seeing, I'll leave it at that, as terms of seeing that tornado. But again, just because you're not seeing it now doesn't mean it might not pop back up. So we continue with the tornado warning. Again, this warning, it's approaching that junction of Route 6 and 220. This warning continues until 8:30. So we have an additional, we've got another 13 minutes or 23 minutes to go with this. So we're in it for the long haul, all right? Right along Route 6 to 220, this is where this potential tornado is. Still some rotation with this being observed from the National Weather Service meteorologists. So here we go. We continue, 220 to Route 6. That's where that particular storm is now. I want to put another track on this. This storm continues to move east at about 25 miles per hour. So let's show you some of the communities potentially in line. And I'm kind of going outside the area of where I think even the tornado is, only because it's likely to have some very strong winds. And wind damage, whether it's from a tornado or just straight line winds, significant. So it looks like it's in the vicinity of the Pine Grove School now. It's going to continue to move east, 828, near the Chestnut School. Okay, near Chestnut School. If that sounds familiar to you, heads up, this particular storm heading in your direction, expected to be there. Not too long a time from right now, so get to that tornado shelter again immediately. So 808. Officially still 2 tornado warnings on the books as we speak. We've got this one here, Bradford County, still showing some decent rotation, still kind of heading east. Again, a couple of spots that we continue to watch within this what we call the mesocyclone, and one of them maybe dropping a little further south outside this particular tornado warning box. So we'll watch that. This warning goes until 8:15. We'll bop you back over to this particular cell. This one officially goes until 8:15. However, what I would say is at this point, it is on the fringe of the New York State border. Okay, so we're talking about Hancock, which is actually just over the Delaware River. But in that vicinity, that junction of 370, 191, so Winterdale getting walloped with at least some very heavy rain right now. This moves east. Starlight, probably still looking at some pretty heavy rain too. So this guy going to continue to move east, north of Lake Como, north of Equinunk, and north of Lakewood. So up in that far northeast corner of Wayne County is the area to continue to watch. Okay, we're going to go back to the chat line here from the National Weather Service, and again, David Nicosia writing in that this particular storm looking a little less organized. They're going to leave the warning up for at least another 10 minutes in Bradford County. Again, looking a little less organized, that storm in Bradford County. They're going to hang on to it for another 10 minutes, see if it comes back, but at least right now, some good news. Things looking a little less organized, and if that continues to be the case, this tornado warning gets dropped. But until that's official, until we can officially say you are, no longer under tornado warning, we stay with it. Again, I know we're breaking right into The Bachelor right now. Great episode. So we continue with this. The tornado warning that was in effect for Delaware and Wayne counties, Pennsylvania, that's been expired. So again, that was the one on the fringe of our viewing area at this point. no longer showing organized rotation, so that warning's been dropped. However, this one in Bradford County, even if it is, a little less organized right now, we're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with this tornado warning. It goes officially until 8:30. We're going to check out what it might look like on velocity mode here, see if we can maybe pick out where some of those strong winds are. Bop back over to Bradford County. And here we go. So this is the area that we're most concerned with at this point. So yes, Wayne County has been dropped. Wayne County no longer under a tornado warning at this point. So the only spots under a tornado warning right now is Bradford County. Bradford County, the only county that has a tornado warning. So we continue with that. Bradford County. So these are the winds that we're concerned with. So we've got winds moving, towards the radar at about 21 miles per hour on kind of the lighter shades. The cooler colors, warmer colors, that's the rotation moving away from the radar. And this couplet maybe not super what we'd call tight or very close together, maybe a little gap there, but still some pretty strong rotation. Looks like in the neighborhood of about 45 miles per hour, what's called gate-to-gate shear. That's pretty strong. So we continue with that warning. National Weather Service continues with that warning. We continue with the coverage. And so this is the area that we're most concerned with at this point. It would be right in here. So this is the area where that potential tornado is. So hasn't quite reached that junction of 220 and Route 6. So it's going to be just west of that. So Luther's Mills is likely in the vicinity of where this cell is. Luther's Mills is, again, that's the area of concern right now. So that's east of Mount Pisgah, east of Burlington, east of East Troy, and east of Troy, east of Columbia Crossroads. So again, this is all east of that, so in pretty good shape. Train spotter, though, in Winterdale, so that's Wayne County. That's where the tornado warning was dropped. But a train spotter is reporting flash flooding there, saying that there are some flooded roads. Because, again, we've got multiple hazards going on here tonight. We have not only the severe weather threat, but we've also got the flash flooding that's also taking place. So it's a two-pronged approach. We're worried about severe weather. We're worried about flash flooding. Now kind of seeing what's going on here, this cell maybe not quite as organized. That's what Dave was mentioning in the chat. Things maybe not looking quite as strong, but severe tornado warning continues, so we stick with it. Again, it was in the vicinity of Luther's Mills. I want to back this out just a scotch, put it back in motion. I know it's probably most appreciated. Where's this thing going? Well, it continues to move east. It's in the Luther's Mills area, approaching that junction of Route 6 and 220. It's continuing with this tornado warning, too, because 25 minutes ago, when it was maybe a little bit of a healthier looking cell, it had a history of wafting debris into the air, which means that it was producing a tornado. National Weather Service meteorologists can see that. So, they continued this warning out a little bit because it has that history. So that's why we continue here on the air. It's 8:13 now. This is the tornado warning, Bradford County. It's approaching Towanda. Towanda, you need to be in your tornado-safe shelter. Yes, it's true. The storm is showing some signs of weakening. You know what's also true? You're still under a tornado warning. You respect the polygon. You get to your tornado-safe shelter immediately. Here are some other communities that should also be, heads up right now as this storm continues. It's trek eastward at about 25 miles per hour or so. So it's from Towanda, Wysox, north Towanda. I would say Shashequin, got to be in that tornado shelter. Rome, stay in that tornado shelter. Herrickville, you should still be in that tornado shelter too. You're still under the warning, even if this thing isn't, producing a tornado right now. Not to say it might not spin back up. This particular cell has a history of kind of weakening and strengthening again. So we continue with that tornado warning. Again, Wysox, Towanda, I would say even Alice Hollow, Rome. Yeah, you got to be heads up. You got to be in that tornado shelter. You've got that tornado warning. Yes, it's in the vicinity of Luther's Mills right now, which is along Route 6, if you're familiar with that. It's near that now, but moving east pretty quick. And, I was saying this during the coverage last night, too, when I was on with Allie, and that is to say that, when you see the tornadoes on TV, out in the Midwest and Tornado Alley and such, A, those are trained people doing it, but B, those are totally different kind of events, meaning that, those kind of cells, you can see the tornadoes so vividly. Tornadoes in our neck of the woods, they're usually what's called rain-wrapped. You're not going to see it coming. So don't be a hero sitting out there on your porch waiting for the tornado to come. If it's wrapped up in rain, it's going to be on you before you can blink. Believe me, I know, I've lived through this. Nearly 9 years ago, the Elmira tornado event of July 26, 2012, rain wrapped. We saw a video, and you can see it on YouTube if you want. People are hanging out on their porch, and all of a sudden this rain wrapped tornado comes right over them. It was an EF2. Did a lot of damage, especially on the Elmira's east side. That's in Chemung County, southern tier of New York State, east side of Elmira. They saw significant damage from that EF2. So again, don't be a hero out on your porch trying to see this thing. If it's all wrapped up in rain, you won't see it coming. You're not going to get that picture. Stuff's just going to start falling around you. We have Mike Aratt. He's our photographer. He lives near the Montrose area. We've got some video from him. And again, this cell wasn't tornado warned, but you see that cloud that's kind of hanging low near that mountain there? It's certainly rotating a bit in there, and that may be where we find, again, some rotation within that particular cell. So that's what you look for. You look for that cloud base, what's called the wall cloud. It lowers out of the mesocyclone, and then if a tornado is going to develop, it develops in the bottom of that. So again, we're going to have to be heads up on that. All right, Dave Nicosia writing into the National Weather Service chat line right now. The tornado warning for Bradford County is going to be canceled, and they're going to go with a severe thunderstorm warning, which would take us off. Until that happens, though, until we see this canceled, we're just going to stick with it for just a little bit longer here, see if anything else happens to spin out. And there we go. That tornado warning actually just dropped now. That tornado warning just dropped, so that is good news, at least for the time being. We no longer have tornado warnings in effect, but flash flood warnings continue here tonight. We have reports of that. Severe thunderstorm warnings also out there, too. That's going to be in effect for Bradford County. So we're going to have to be heads up there. So with that said, at 8:17, no tornado warnings in effect. What we're going to do is we're going to bop you back to our regularly scheduled programming. That would be The Bachelor. Allie Gallo comes rushing back in after working a full shift today. So thanks for showing up, Allie. We appreciate you as always, but at least for the time being, no tornado warnings. So we take you to The Bachelor. If more tornado warnings are issued, we're back on TV.
This has been a special report from Newswatch 16.